on, everybody? Welcome back into Breaking Bet After Hours. We're pushing here on this Sunday, February 15th. Just getting off of Valentine's Day. I got a very special guest, Clemson Tigers' very own Dominic Listy, career college 339 hitter. Big fan, watched him a lot, won a lot of money on the Clemson Tigers, and we're lucky enough to have him on Breaking Bet After Dark. My friend, welcome in.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. This is going to be fun.
Well, Dom, it's cool because, I always have a lot of people that are great college baseball minds, especially when it comes to betting, but I don't really often have guys that played at, were not only very, very good players, but played at great programs. So, I'm interested to get your perspective on just what it is to be a college baseball player nowadays, especially with the NIL portal and really the new things that we're seeing here. But before we get into all that, man, give me your thoughts on the opening weekend. Who stood out to you? What team stood out to you? All the above.
I mean, I think a very hot team coming into the season for everybody to talk about was definitely Georgia Tech, just because they're returning. I don't know what the betting lines were, but probably one of the top favorites for Golden Spikes to begin with in Burris. And that lineup was just ridiculous. I mean, going into last year, I tweeted it a day or two ago. I said, I think outside of Florida State last year, which they lost all those guys, so I'm curious what it'll look like this year, Georgia Tech was the best offense. I mean, one of our games against them last year, they absolutely pummeled us 21-3 or something in the first half of a doubleheader. It was just ugly. And the odds of them getting out where putting a ball on a tee were honestly better than what we were doing pitching off the mound at that time. So there's a few times in your life that you come across those special types of lineups and whatnot. And I think they have that. So that's a team that really caught my eye this weekend. And then to be honest, there hasn't been too many crazy matchups that have caught my eye. I don't have Flow Baseball, so I've missed some of the best games. I was texting you about that. But outside of that, there's been nothing too much. I mean, a lot of just soft games for the most part. You saw a nice matchup in Southern Miss and Santa Barbara. They have some amazing arms, but I don't know too much about West Coast ball, to be honest. I know my roots, and it's mostly in the Southeast.
Yeah, man. I mean, you were busy playing the game, so that's actually the funny thing. It's like in the NFL, right? You get guys that are watching the game, so you see everybody, but then for, say, a specific quarterback of a team, doesn't get a chance to watch all these other guys. So, definitely different perspective. But I think for me, let's start out here, right? Friday, opening day, was all over it in the preseason, was all over him last year. I highlighted him a bunch going back to this time last year. And I said, he's going to be a top pick in next summer's draft. And that's something we like to do. It's not just highlighting the guys in this draft. It's getting ahead of the curve and having those guys for the following draft.
Yeah.
Jackson Floro was a guy I was just obsessed with. And I am. I think this is a legitimate superstar. And not just betting. UC Santa Barbara plus 140, I thought was just insane with a guy of his caliber.
Yeah.
There was a layup. So he goes out there on opening day, on the road, 6 shutty, no walks, 5 Ks. I mean, he touched 100. End of the first inning, he puts a casual hundy piece on the black. I mean, the slider, 2 different, the sweeper and the gyro was working. I mean, this kid is just going to be, he's going to be all world, man. This is a future MLB ace. He delivered. TCU, brother, 2 gutsy wins against the Vandy boys, which got a little lucky. Noah Franco got lucky on that first one because Colin Parsi hit 3 fucking homers, but then he ends up throwing the ball away, which ultimately gives TCU the win. We'll take it. And then about TCU again tonight against Arkansas. I mean, Noah Franco comes in the clutch after Arkansas gets the momentum, cutting that lead from 5-1 to 5-4. Tate McGuire was nails. I don't think he gave up a hit out of the bullpen for Arkansas. Just phenomenal. But then Noah Franco gets that momentum back, Dom, and he shuts the door. I mean, 2-way player coming in last year. It was a little bit iffy. I think he had some injuries going on with the arm, but then they give him the shot out of the pen. They forego going with the closer and give him the 9th inning, and he he rewarded their faith, man. I mean, just absolutely nails. I think TCU standing out to me in terms of like competitive teams, much to be desired for me in terms of pitching depth overall for a serious Omaha run. Like, as you know, pitching wins in Omaha front to back. It's not just the starters. But, you know, in terms of week one, I would say Florida, TCU, got to give some love to Oklahoma, man. A lot of questions there. Cam Johnson always had the hype, always had the talent, delivered. LJ Mercurius from UNLV comes in, shoves, shuts down OK State today. That's just a couple. You know, there's a lot of teams and a lot of players that we can highlight. But just from what I saw and spent a lot of time looking at today and on Friday, I think so far that's what we're having to keep our eye on.
Definitely, man. I mean, you got some deep ball knowledge, that's for sure. Definitely more than I do. I mean, I got a lot of opinions and thoughts about teams and what it takes to be successful in the long run and just the makeups of teams and whatnot. But in regard to the tangible players and whatnot, like, I'd be lying if I said I knew everybody you just said. Like, that's something that I, as a fan this year on the other side of it all, watching the game, I'm going to kind of learn. But like in the ACC is kind of where I have my most knowledge because I played against those guys. And it's like they're all coming back. Like, I got in the box against a lot of these guys. I know what it feels like to face them at a much deeper level versus a lot of these other people. I mean, it's more the teams that I paid attention to rather than the players. So there's going to be a learning curve for that on this new end of it all.
Yeah, bro, it's like anything else. You know, it's just something that, you know, more repetition. I mean, this is what I do on the weekends. People are like, oh, like, you know, you're a young guy, you're single. Like, are you going out to bars and like going to hang out? No, like, I'm in here watching college baseball every single weekend. What do you think? Like, what do you think this is?
Yeah,
I'm sitting here betting, screaming at the TV. Also, I do apologize. I know for the second stream in a row, it's not going directly to my Twitter feed, so I do apologize. I think it's like a bug with StreamYard and Twitter. We'll get that fixed for next stream. Very unfortunate. We got Dom Listy here, and you know StreamYard's kind of fucking up right now, but we'll we'll get that fixed. Dom will definitely be back here on Breaking Bet.
I got a comment right there about Louisville, man. I mean, that's for. That's a very bad opening weekend. I mean, the issue. They're missing. I tuned in a little bit today. They're missing Zion Rose, which is interesting. I don't know what's wrong with him. I don't know if he's hurt or what's going on there. But that pitching staff, like last year, they got everything they could have out of that team. Because I remember when we played them at Clemson, we won the first 2 games. I mean, they're good games. They're good teams, top 25 matchup, but we were just clearly a better team than them. And then they stole Sunday from us because we left a small village out on the bases. It was terrible. But their pitching staff was not great. And we didn't face Forbes that weekend because he was hurt. So I never got to face him. But outside of like that, they were just pesky pitchers. So it's like coming into this year, they lost their 2 best arms and they returned very minimal talent. So it's like there's not much there beside a great position player core. So to be honest with you, being ranked 8th in the country, I think, is pretty out of pocket. Like, that's just not right. And then losing to, I mean, the Big Ten and every other sport, you think about it as something that's crazy. But, like, I'm from Chicago, man. Like, I left Indiana State. Everyone from the Big Ten reached out to me. I said no to everybody because the Big Ten's just not good at baseball. It's just not. Like, it goes SEC, 1A, ACC, 1B, and then a massive gap to whoever's next, and it's probably the Sun Belt or something. So, I mean, it's just an ugly, ugly look for Louisville because Michigan State's in a bad conference, not a bad conference, but not a great conference, and they're bottom to middle part of that conference. So, just not a great look for them as a whole.
Yeah, you know, it's actually really it's really funny because I think a lot of times we get caught up in the well, you know, they were good last year, so they're automatically going to be good this year. Like they reach this plateau where they're in the conversation every year, and it's unfortunately not the case. And listen, I'll be honest, I didn't like Louisville last year, not because of their offense, but because of their pitching. Like, we saw Patrick Forbes in this very tournament last year. I think it was might have been against Texas, if somebody in the comments wants to refresh my memory. It was 5 innings, 10 strikeouts. Like, the stuff was never a question, but it was always the consistency of the command. Can he not only command of his pitches, but command it within the zone? How efficient can he be? And obviously the stuff was there, and that's why I really had questions about Louisville in terms of their pitching depth, never about their lineup. And, you lose them, you lose Tucker Bivet. Ethan Eberle was solid last year. I got a comment today, and Dom, I don't know if you saw this, but I had somebody comment after, like I tweeted out about overreactions after the first couple of days.
Okay.
It's not an overreaction saying that Louisville losing their two best pitchers when it was already thin to begin with. It's not an overreaction to say that they're going to have a tough year because they just don't have the arm talent.
Yeah. I mean, you also just can't lose by 10 to Michigan State. That just can't happen.
And it's not a Joseph Giroux-led Michigan State team like last year. Like Joseph Giroux was the truth. They don't have him anymore. He's gone.
Yeah.
So, and
it's embarrassing, to be honest with you. And like last year, I was honestly super high on Louisville at the end of the year because their action offense is truly, at least last year's version of it was special. And I had a feeling, I'm like, that's a tough draw for Vandy. And I don't even think they played Vandy in that regional. I think they ended up missing them, right? Or I think they missed them somehow because didn't Vandy lose in the first matchup?
No, I think Vandy played No, are you talking about Vandy Louisville? I think Vandy played Louisville.
Okay, so regardless of
Vandy lost
they faced or not, but
I think Tucker Biven threw that game. Let me go back and look.
Yeah,
I don't remember what happened yesterday. You're asking me to go back to the
But no, man, I remember the playoffs a lot better. But yeah, dude, I loved their action offense last year with like Lucas Moore, Zion Rose, and that third baseman they had that got drafted as well. But I mean, it was very, very fun to watch. And then making it to Omaha, even then they put up some pretty good fight there, but they were at the end of the tunnel, that's for sure.
They lost to Louisville 3-2. I think.
Okay, yeah. And then Vandy lost to Wright State in that elimination game.
Yeah.
And then that's what it was.
You're right.
But yeah, very ugly there for sure.
So Louisville was part of the ugly. Like we talked about some good. Louisville was part of the ugly. Who else are you putting in that ugly bucket? I mean, I got to say, man, Oregon State narrowly escaped the ugly bucket. Arizona's in that motherfucker. I mean, Arizona, dude, like, I don't know why.
They did the same thing last year.
Well, yeah, but the thing is, so they're 4-1, tied with TCU preseason to win the Big 12 regular season. And I just didn't understand. Like, I know they had the pitching. Kremkowski, like, he had a bad start against Stanford as the first one. Like, I'm not going to hold them to that. Kremkowski's Big 12 pitcher of the year caliber. Smith Bailey's a star. Like, Smith Bailey's a first rounder in 2027. We said that last year. But you lose Tony Pluta. That was one of the top closers in the country last year. Their offense was really the big concern for me, though. You lose Mason White, you lose Brendan Summerhill, you lose Aaron Walton off the bat. I mean, you got a couple guys in Mikalakis and Andrew Kane and guys that might step up, but it's a bad weekend for Arizona, man. They just fell apart against Stanford, who's really not that good, and they put up a big inning against Oregon State, and then they folded against a team that really has a questionable offense with the Beavers. So I'm not saying the season's over for them because if you could pitch, you usually have a pretty good chance. But that's definitely a team that I would say was a little bit more. I would say it's a little bit more surprised about.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. When you were talking, I was thinking, and I was gonna say Auburn. I saw somebody say that Auburn was ugly as well. I tuned into that because one of my good buddies just transferred to Auburn. I don't know if he played today, but he DH'd for them game 1 of the season. And he was at NIU last year. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, dude, Youngstown State is one of the worst teams in Division I baseball. Like, there's no other way to put it. They won, I think, 12 or 15 games last year. And you're telling me Auburn wins by 1 run or something like that the night before and then wins by 1 again in extras? Or, like, regardless of how much they won by, very small margins. And they probably should have lost because I tuned in Youngstown State had runners on second and third, I think, with 1 out, and I think it was punchy fly out or something in the 8th or 9th, and then Auburn came back and was able to win in the 10th, I believe. But, I mean, that's ugly. That is bad. That's a terrible, terrible team to narrowly come out victorious against.
We can't not at least mention him. Tice Armstrong from Baylor. 3 grand slams in one game. I mean, you did something incredible if you're a college baseball player and it's a regular season and you get DraftKings and MLB and ESPN tweeting about it. That's how you know when you just did something incredible.
It's got to be very mainstream for them to give college baseball any
Super
attention.
mainstream.
Yeah.
Super mainstream. The only mainstream guy that really is going on is Rock Chalowski.
Very true. And I'm kind of sick of that, to be honest with you. But
I'm starting to get sick because then everybody's going to, like, all the casuals are just like scrolling past Twitter, like, yeah, bro, Chalowski this. But I'll say this, though. In all fairness, like, Rock Chalowski is way more hype coming into his draft year than somebody like Paul Skeens did. Paul Skeens had no, like, legitimate draft hype as, like, a first-rounder or top pick coming into the 2023 season, whereas Rock Chalowski, whereas Rock Chalowski, he had, all this. Like, he's a shoe-in. He's the Golden Spikes winner.
Yeah.
He's the premier shortstop of the 2020s. I mean, listen, I don't disagree with saying he's a superstar. He's like, I comp him something along the lines of Bobby Witt. But anyway, let's get on. Let's get on it here with the Sunday slate. The pitchers, it's a little bit more difficult because we don't have exactly like the weekend formula as if it was week 3 or week 4, and we've seen it for a couple of weekends. But, we have a pretty good idea. Tomorrow we have Vandy and Oklahoma State playing their final game of the weekend at the Shriners Classic. OK State 0-2, Vandy 1-1. Big bounce back for the Doors tonight, or this morning, I should say. Just absolutely smoked Texas Tech. Austin Nye, Connor Fennell, man, they look good this weekend. That's always going to be the strength of this Vanderbilt pitching team. They're laying 180 against OK State. And, man, I don't think OK State's going to be bad this year, but I think it's going to take a little time for them to figure it out, Dom, because from what I've read, they're looking to transition out of that slugger, power first, like swing for the fences type of mentality now, like somebody like Nolan Schubert's gone. And they're going to be more death by 1,000 cuts, extra base hits, gap to gap, get on base, steal, that sort of thing. Definitely not a good start for them. And now they're looking like it's going to be Nate Taylor on the bump for Vandy. Georgia transfer, only threw 8 1/3 last year with the Bulldogs, but 17 Ks to 2 walks. So it looks like he's got some big swing and miss stuff. Vanderbilt minus 180. Do you like this something along the lines of a parlay piece or straight up at minus 180?
Yeah, it's a tough one because it's one of those where it'd be super easy to just say Vandy and say Oklahoma State's. They're just a tricky team to understand, man. They did this same thing last year where they came in with a ton of hype. They fell flat on their faces for a while. They got hot. They got cold. They got hot. They made a regional run. So it's one of those teams like they always recruit well there. And what is the coach's name? Ryan Holiday or Holiday, whatever it is.
Josh Holiday for OK State.
Josh Holiday, yeah. And he, I mean, my roommate on the road from Clemson last year transferred to Oklahoma State. He's their starting right fielder, TP Wentworth, or left fielder, I believe. And
two-way player.
Yes, he is two-way, yeah. And did he pitch for them today?
I don't think so. I didn't watch the game, and
he's more of a position player than pitcher. But anyways, yeah, like that team, man, like they always have stupid talent, but I honestly lean Vanderbilt here pretty considerably in the sense that like it is not easy to just bounce back after 2 super rough losses against a third really good team. You went through all your arms. Your offense is not feeling good, and you're probably going to face some more legit Vandy arms. To me, it's like whether you want to throw it in a parlay or you want to straight up, I think you're getting the edge on the sheer talent. You're getting the edge on the team that's hot. And then you're also getting just the mentality edge in the sense that you have Tim Corbin coming in with a team that's just talented and also super gritty, and they know who they are and they know how to play the game versus an Oklahoma State team that's extremely volatile year after year. They have a coach that's very wishy-washy from time to time in regard to his philosophy. And it seems like the team's just extremely disconnected and disjointed playing as a whole. So I lean Vandy pretty considerably here.
Same here. I think, honestly, I would lay it straight up with Vandy. I like Vandy in a parlay piece. And listen, I think Oklahoma State is going to figure it out to some degree throughout the year. But like you said, there's a lot of moving parts. They lost a lot. So their Friday guy to open up the year was supposed to be Hunter Watkins, who was pretty damn solid last year. Goes down right before opening day. That kind of throws everything into a blender. Now their only meaningful returning starter from last year is Mario Pesce, St. John's, my alum. Shout out. But that's it, man. I mean, you pick up Hudson Barrett from UC Santa Barbara, who was really good before his injury. I mean, he wasn't terrible on Friday, but the pitching is definitely a point of contention. You lose the big relievers. Even though they weren't good last year, they were insanely talented. Ryan Uri, lefty that's touching 102. Gabe Davis, big 6'8" righty that's touching 101, 102. So you lose those two guys, and you have a bunch of different newcomers that have to figure it out. And if you're looking at what happened this weekend, Dom, Hunter Watkins obviously can't pitch. He's done for the year. Mario Pesce threw today. He threw 3 innings. He's done. He's not throwing tomorrow. Bryce LeBlanc could probably come back in. He only threw a third of an inning. So based on, reasonable deduction, I would say Ethan Lund, left-hander, is probably going to get some burn at some point, but I think it's just going to be a mix and match because unfortunately, OK State hasn't even proven they have a legitimate Friday guy, let alone a Sunday guy. Now you're going against Vandy, who's literally known for pitching. They've been known as the pitching factory for 20 years, Tim Corbin. So I think Vanderbilt off the bat, I think minus 180 is fair. I think this will probably end up closing closer to like 220, 230.
I think it is already 200 on a couple books as well right now.
Okay, so that's a good look. Shopping around, man. That's what we're talking about. So I think Vandy I might actually throw out straight up. I like that in a parlay. That's a good anchor. There's not a lot of great games tomorrow. There's a ton of doubleheaders today. So it's slim pickings for the Sunday slate, but I definitely think Vanderbilt is a good leg here or a play straight up. And just by the way, no totals or run lines out yet. Imagine we'll get them at some point throughout the morning. So, Dom, Kansas at UT-RGV. Kansas absolutely hosed me. Last piece of the parlay, plus 750. I had to sweat out UC Santa Barbara. I had to sweat out TCU last night. 2+ money bangers, only for minus 175 Kansas with Dom Vagley on the mound to go to UT-RGV, grab a 2-0 lead, and then absolutely implode and melt down. They lose. But then what do? I knew they were going to do it, but I wasn't going to bet them for it. Come back and just smoke UT-RGV like 10-1 today. Is Kansas going to take the series? Does it even matter who's pitching for either of these teams? Like, is Kansas going to lose a series to this team?
I don't even know what to say here, to be completely honest with you. I haven't even tapped in this weekend to this series yet, and I just don't know enough about the two teams. I mean, I know Kansas is more talented, straight up, but, I mean, I did see just a lot of side note from the betting side, UT-RGV, like their fan base, they had like 4,000, 5,000 people there for a mid-major. That's always super, super cool to see. So clearly they got something brewing there, but I'm not going to throw out some advice here when I honestly do not have an angle on this game personally. So I'd be curious to hear what you have to say and what I should be looking for, though.
Let me just tell you, that is probably one of the smartest things you can say, because there's a lot of people that will say, yeah, do this, do that, and they don't know. But when you say, hey, I actually really don't know, that's a very insightful thing to say.
I'll say when I have opinions, but if I don't, I don't.
So the thing for me is I'm kind of in the same boat as you, because Kansas is obviously the more talented team. They have one of my favorite players in the country, Brady Ballinger, Big 12 player of the year, capable. He's going to be in the mix this year. The offense is definitely a lot of moving parts. There's a big JUCO class coming in for the Jayhawks. Pitching wise, losing Cooper Moore is huge. Cooper Moore, by the way, had a day in his debut at LSU today. They're bringing in Madden Seidel, a freshman, 6'5", for his first start. So I don't know what to expect. I'm not really too big on this freshman here. So I don't really know what to expect or how long he's going to go. And it's going to be Robert Bonilla. Let me look up real quick because I don't really know much about him.
Their stadium was super nice, by the way. Dilly Daggers.
They look pretty good. So Robert Bonilla last year for Texas Rio Grande Valley, he had a 7.71 ERA, 31 Ks, 18 walks in 32 and 2/3. Not super impressive.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I like anything enough to bet this game.
Yeah, same.
I mean, possibly an over, depending on what the line looks like. Actually, was impressed. Was curious what it looked like. Yeah, honestly, it looked pretty good. But I was more focused on Kansas just absolutely selling rather than what the attendance was. I mean, I don't have anything official here, but
I'm not touching it, but yeah.
I probably won't touch this one. Stanford, Oregon State. So this surprise Arizona tournament, it goes till Monday. It's at least for Oregon
Interesting. I
State.
didn't know that.
Yeah, it's going until Monday. So there's a 4-game set. Oregon State just blew it with Dax Whitney on the mound on Friday. He was pretty good, but their bullpen blew it against Michigan. And then today, Ethan Kleinschmidt just dotted. And then as soon as he comes out, Oregon State gives it right up. But then they found a way to come back in. I was a little curious why their star reliever, Wyatt Queen, didn't make an appearance. Not sure if he's getting a start this weekend since it's a 4-game set. And maybe that's why.
I mean, if you look at NC State, they just did that with I'm blanking on his name right now.
Duden, Jacob Duden.
Yeah, he started. He actually DM'd me on Instagram about. I made a tweet about him, and he's like, "Thank you for that." But he's unbelievable, and he's starting this year. So I'm super excited to see him as a starter. So they very well could be doing that. Like coaches have the tendency to want to take their star reliever and push them into a starting role, and then it either works out wonderfully, or 2 or 3 starts into the season, they're like, let's just push you back to the back half. Like you're that adrenaline junkie, you need that. So
if I'm not mistaken, your boy Lucas Malstead did that once or twice.
He didn't start at all for us last year. He might have the year before, but what they did was, you might be thinking about Austin Gordon, actually, who got drafted by the Angels.
It might be Gordon.
That was the year before I was at Clemson. I was at Indiana State that year, but he was starting.
23?
So 2 years ago, 2 baseball seasons
24?
ago. Yeah.
Okay.
I was at Indiana State 24, Clemson 25. But Austin Gordon was that exact prototype where he was a stud reliever, and they're like, let's make him a starter. And it just never really clicked, but they moved them back to the back half of the bullpen. And then, like, for example, that crazy Canarella game where against Florida, the Super Regional, made that catch. Like,
instant classic, by the way.
Unbelievable. I mean, unbelievable. But Gordon pitched like 5 innings that game. I have to do a little side tangent here in this fact that both schools I went to the year before I went there, like, just some of the craziest games. Like, you have the year before I go to Indiana State was the year they won their regional and then had to go to TCU because the Special Olympics were being hosted, and the president didn't put in a bid for hosting your own super regional when you hosted a regional. So you have to then go on the road and not go to Omaha. And the year before I go to Clemson, they play arguably one of the craziest college baseball games of all time.
Was that the Tennessee game?
That was 2 years before.
I can't keep it straight. Tennessee was 2023.
That was the 23, yeah. And then 24 was
hit that home run. Oh,
yeah,
shit.
That was crazy.
Bro, bringing me back here.
But then the 24 that was crazy was the Florida game where Caglione got like kind of protected and he could have got ejected, and then they had the Canarella like that was just the craziest college baseball game I've ever seen in my life, like straight up.
It's pretty gas. That's pretty. But
do you know who we got for starting pitchers in this game? I am curious because I definitely lean Oregon State in regard to just program pedigree and talent as a whole positionally, because my brain works position player centric. I know Stanford lost a lot of their guys, and I'm just like, Stanford's a very volatile team, similar to Oklahoma State. They'll look like last year looked amazing for a couple weeks, and then they looked terrible after that.
So I'll be honest, I don't know who's pitching for Stanford, but Oregon State, I'd have to imagine it's either Wyatt Queen or Eric Segura.
Okay.
Sometimes Twitter will.
Yeah, sometimes you get a little. But I did throw Oregon State into a parlay that I made already, a look-ahead parlay. So I'm definitely on them in some capacity
I think it's a solid look.
because I think this could close above over 200 as well. To be honest.
Yeah, I agree with you. I'm honestly not sure. I couldn't find it, but I just used reasonable deduction. It's a little weird in the sense of handicapping because a lot of times Sunday is the end of the weekend. Like you very
Yeah.
rarely get a series going into a Monday, and obviously this is a tournament. So Oregon State can't really empty the pen. You know what I'm saying? Like they have to save some.
Mhm.
They have to save some arms for Monday against I think it's Michigan rematch, but. Whether it's Queen or it's Segura, I think they have enough. I mean, I really don't think Stanford's that good.
Oregon State's just the better team.
Yeah, they're the better team. I know they're figuring some stuff out, but I think Oregon State in a parlay, say with like a Vanderbilt, is a pretty solid look here. Not sure if I'm making that one official, but in case you were looking, trying to show up the odds here. In case you were looking, Oregon State and a Vanderbilt parlay pays out plus 135. So not bad. Not bad luck. But look, man, I don't think I'm playing Oregon State straight up minus 190. I just think there's a little bit too much in terms of inconsistency with them right now. I think there's some weak spots in their bullpen. I think their offense is very questionable. I mean, when you lose Ava Arquette, you lose Gavin Turley, Wilson Weber, Trent Caraway, four of your best hitters. Obviously, there's going to be some growing pains and some new guys have to step up. Like Easton passed the salt tall clutch. Saved the parlay today. Saved it. Fucking Easton Tall for you one time, brother. Great job. You got Jacob Krieg, hits bombs, AJ Singer. But then there's like a bunch of other guys that are newer, didn't really have a ton of experience last year that have to find a way. And for Stanford, I mean, it's a couple hitters. Obviously, Rentaro, Charlie Bates, Jimmy Natty, and JJ Moran is a big name that's being circled for the ACC out of Stanford. But I think Oregon State's solid. Creme de la creme, though, Dom, is Arkansas minus 238 against Texas Tech. This should close well past 300. Texas Tech
I agree.
Blender right now. So how you attacking this one? It looks like it's going to be Colin Fisher tomorrow. It's another arm that we're excited to see. Another one of these lefties. I mean, Arkansas just picks arms off the ground.
Yeah.
Being first, second, and third rounders.
I think it's a pretty clear-cut thing for me. First of all, it's like you just look at these lines. Typically, when you see plus 180, I feel like the favorite money line's typically a little higher than 238, for example. So that alone should tell you it's going to likely close higher. College baseball lines also have a very seem to have a very frequent tendency to take the favorite, and it's just going whatever the line is early on, it's going to close higher, just straight up. So if you want to take Arkansas, take them now. It's that simple. And then to finish my thoughts off in just a very straightforward manner, you're getting the better team that is dismantled Oklahoma State. They came out slow against TCU, at a team who's obviously playing very good baseball right now, and they still came back. Like Arkansas is just so much better. You're going against a team that cannot pitch at all, and it's got dismantled in both their early games. So to me, 100% a great parlay leg here.
Yeah, I love Arkansas today. I love Arkansas for Sunday. I think that is a really good look. I think it's a great parlay piece. Vanderbilt, Arkansas are going to be two big teams to look at tomorrow, especially, playing in the same tournament. But, look, Texas Tech, it's, they're in a blender. They haven't been good in a few years. I think the last good team they really had was in 2022 when they had Jace Young. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago, bro. That's a long time ago. So, look, I think the truth is there's a lot of negatives with Texas Tech, and Arkansas just lost like that. They're pissed off. They literally have so many arms. It doesn't even mention Fisher was nice last year. Yeah, he was. I mean, it's insane how many arms they have. Definitely mention Cackle. So yeah, exactly. I mean, you get Tate McGuire coming in during 5 perfect innings. I mean, I think it's the same guy had like a 5 ERA last year, and then it's another one of these situations where he goes to the Cape, dominates, and then all of a sudden he comes out, he's first rounder now. So, Arkansas, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. Uncanny is the best way. I don't know if that's a compliment or not. If it is, thank you. But Arkansas parlay piece, man, Colin Fisher, any one of these pitchers they have, Texas Tech is just it's not a good program right now. But I would like to say maybe a little TJ Pompey revenge home run. I know in the NFL we like the revenge game tutty. I think it's a revenge game home run here for TJ Pompey tomorrow. So
yep, definitely on Arkansas here for a parlay leg for me.
I think so too. How about let's go right back to the team that beat Arkansas tonight. TCU, small favorite, -135 in the 2-0 matchup. They are throwing Lance Davis. Don't know much about him as he is a redshirt freshman. I'm as much as I follow college baseball during the season, I'm not to the point where like I'm some of these other journalists that'll follow teams throughout the fall. I don't do it. So I don't know too much about Lance Davis. We know Noah Franco's cooked for today, but I think there's a good chance that we'll see some of the guys that we saw on Friday for TCU out of the pen. And, I have no idea what to expect from this kid because, like I said, I didn't follow this team throughout the fall. But you have, I think Stern was the one that pitched on Friday. Sagusp, I probably butchered the hell out of his name. So 2 of the key guys. And then Walter Quinn, their closer, who didn't pitch tonight. So you have some options out of the bullpen for TCU. Their offense looks pretty good. And, look, man, Oklahoma's pitching is definitely looking strong right now. Their offense is looking strong. But in the same token, they played against Texas Tech and Oklahoma State. I'm not taking anything from Oklahoma because they've had a great weekend. But, you look at TCU's resume the first 2 weekends. Beat Connor Fennell and Vanderbilt. Beat Arkansas. I don't know. I feel like a TCU win here, -135 is pretty solid. I think the line is fair, though, I will say. I don't think Oklahoma's a slouch. I think this one could set up as another one-run thriller. What do you think, Dom?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to lean on you for this one again. Like, I haven't been able to spend too much time watching this specific tournament and getting to see these 2 teams. So I'd like to see some more baseball from them and just kind of enjoy this one as a fan a little bit more. And, yeah, get to get some insight on those teams and whatnot because I don't have strong opinions. And for me, I like to just stay away from them if I don't have strong opinions toward it, to be honest.
So the Sooners are throwing an interesting freshman. So thus far, we got Cam Johnson, terrific debut as the Friday guy. LJ Mercurius, UNLV transfer, terrific debut. Now they bring in a 6'6" left-handed freshman, Cord Rager. Some
of these schools just be rolling out like it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. So, I don't know much about him. I mean, it's hard to know with a freshman making his first start. There's a lot of variables. Pitch count, first start of the season, like we don't know what he looks like. Nerves, if one thing goes wrong, does it ruin his entire outing? Like how quick is the hook? There's a lot of variables here. So I mean, realistically, like Oklahoma's got a solid offense. I know they put up a lot of runs the first 2 games, but again, it wasn't against the better competition like a TCU, a team that is the favorite to win the Big 12. And like my boy Dilly Dagger said in the comments here, TCU definitely saved some of their better high leverage arms for this game. And I think -135 is a bargain. And he said it best. Sell high situation for Oklahoma. So I'm riding TCU. I think it's a solid parlay piece. Like if you're going straight for the Shriners Children's Classic parlay, Vandy, Arkansas, TCU. I think it's fair. Okay, we got that. How about Arizona versus Michigan? I'll be honest. We know Kremkowski and Smith Bailey are done. No Tony Pluta. The Arizona bullpen has looked bad. I don't even need to look at who's starting for Arizona. The fact that they are minus 200 after the way they've played in games 1 and 2, I will blindly take Michigan plus 154. Blindly.
Yeah, I don't have the balls to touch anything in this game personally. Don't love it either way, but I mean, I think I have such a bias towards some of these blue blood programs, and then like a negative bias towards some of these Big Ten. But Michigan's played some good baseball, man. So it's like if somebody put a gun to my head and said you have to pick who has the most value in this game and who you'd want to put your money on in the long term, if you had to make this bet 100 times, I would 100% take Michigan in this situation. But personally, not going to take anything still, though.
I think tomorrow there's a good chance Arizona throws some semblance of like Nolan Trinero from Elon transfer, Luke Flotta from Tulane. I actually got to see if these guys have thrown. Let me check. I saw some new faces for them. I don't think Luke Flotta threw this weekend. Nolan Trinero. Let me see. I don't think they threw. Doesn't look like Nolan Trinero threw this weekend, so those two guys could be in play. Oh no, I'm sorry. Nolan Trinero threw on Friday against Stanford. Oh, he was the one that gave up 4 runs and blew it for me. Okay, so he threw against Stanford Friday. So it looks like Luke Flotta might be a candidate here. Let me see. He did, in fact. I don't think he threw. I'm just checking. It's been a long day. I don't think he threw. So probably see some combination of him, Colin McKinney. Like they got some pitchers, man. That's what they are. But there's kind of a gap between their top pitchers and their bottom pitchers, especially with Tony Pluta at yeah, Vinny, TCU, all day sweat. Yeah, exactly. Right. Fucking love all day sweat. So I look, man, Michigan plus 154. Like I know Arizona's got some arms, but I just know if it's good enough to be like minus 200 with. All right, last one I wanted to kind of talk about here was Southern Miss UCSB. UCSB actually had a lead today to close out the series, and Southern Miss found a way to come back. Now for the game 3 in the series deciders, minus 166 for the home team here against Santa Barbara. Are you feeling that Southern Miss is going to be able to get this one done?
I think Southern Miss gets done at home. They're just a better team top to bottom. They know how to win, and they do have a home field advantage at that place. I mean, I played there when I was at Indiana State. It's pretty awesome, to be completely honest with you. One of the best mid-major atmospheres in the country. And they definitely have a deeper overall pitching staff than UCSB. At the very top, I don't know what the very top end stuff that Southern Miss has right now looks like, but I know it's not as good as UCSB. But as a whole, their staff is better. And Southern Miss, I mean, they're not known for being just absolute boppers on offense, but their coach there, man, like they know what their philosophy is. They play great defense on that turf there. They have a couple guys that can run every single year, and they just hit doubles and poke you to death. So, like, I think Southern Miss is the team here. But the one thing I would say is that minus 166 is a little steep for a game that's likely going to be close because good Southern Miss wins a lot of tight ball games, but they play a lot of tight ball games. So it will probably be a very close game if I had to say.
Look at Dom Listy coming on here. First show, the debut of the podcast. He's coming here dropping knowledge. This is what I like to see. So it looks like we're going to be getting Kellen Montgomery, 9.4 record, 4.97 ERA last year, and McCarty English for Southern Miss, redshirt junior. Didn't really throw too much, so it's not really. Like he had a 22.50 ERA, so I don't think he threw that much. Let's see how many. Let's get a look here. I just think overall the pitching is probably a little bit deeper. Yeah, he threw 2 innings last year. The pitching's probably a little bit deeper, and the offense is better, I would say, for Southern Miss.
Yeah.
But I do agree, minus 166, a little big. I'm not looking to play Southern Miss in a parlay. I kind of want Santa Barbara to win, so an 11.7 challenge, the Pick'em challenge, I took Santa Barbara. I felt like if Jackson Florida got them a win, they would have a chance to get one of the final 2. Nathan DeCivas, their star reliever, threw pretty well today. I think he threw like 2 or 3 innings. But I think a slight lean to Southern Miss. I don't think I'm making it official. Before you go, any thoughts on GCU versus Nebraska? Not on GCU campus. We've seen GCU get chippy early in the season before. They got boat race today. Now, it's actually good that you bring that up. So, Dom, what I like to do here, because like obviously we don't have time to talk about every game, but like highlight the big game, and then save some time to talk about other games that you're interested in watching. In is there anything that we might have missed that your eyes caught in Nebraska Grand Canyon? What are you feeling here?
Well, so for me, it's nothing sexy. Like it's kind of some of the games that are bigger favorites. But to me, I have a couple very strong opinions, and the rest is kind of just trying to find the proper parlay pieces to piece it together. And like I said, I played in the ACC all last year, so that's where a lot of my thought goes. And those are the people and teams I know. But for me, I'm looking at this. You got NC State versus Seton Hall tomorrow morning. NC State is a great parlay leg right there. And then on top of that, a step deeper, this is my favorite of the entire day. This is ridiculous. You have Indiana State, who just got dismantled. Keep in mind, I played at Indiana State. They got dismantled by NC State today. They faced a great arm, but they're facing Wake tomorrow, and Wake is up 4-0 right now, I believe, versus I forget who they're playing, but I have them as I have them as a last leg or something. But Indiana State is worse than Washington, and you're going to put Wake Forest against Indiana State. Like Wake Forest should win that game. They play poor. They should win by 5+ runs very, very easily. Yeah. It's just not – they're not on the same planet. So those two are just like unbelievable things to put into parlay legs. And then to finish it out, like my plays that I put in were it was NC State, Oregon State, and Wake Forest at plus 124. And then my hypers, like just extremely –
long shot.
Square, not long shot, but like square parlay in the sense that it's just favorites that I just know they're going to win, to be honest with you. Like, again, I just wanted to find another way to bet Wake Forest and NC State, but kind of get off the risk a little bit of Oregon State because I don't think it's as much of a surefire winner. So I ended up going with one of my best friends, my roommate from last year, Tristan Bissetta, transferred to Ole Miss.
By the way.
Yeah, Bro, he replicates his swing off of Barry Bonds. Like, the kid works his ass off more than anyone I know. Like, he is a fucking grinder, dude. It's just like big ball of fucking meat, super athletic, and literally just looks in the mirror and takes dry cuts 24/7 all day. And it's just reincarnating himself into Barry Bonds. So super, super happy to see him be balling out right now. I'm excited to talk to him after this weekend, and we've just been texting back and forth. I'm just telling him how happy I am. But I've been watching a lot of Ole Miss to finish my point up. They're just better than Nevada. I have them winning the sweep. They're minus 700, but like I'm throwing that in there just to knock my price down. And then on top of that, again, like it just to get me to even odds, I threw in UCLA because they're going to finish off the sweep as well. So another way to just buy down the price for Wake Forest and NC State, which I think is amazing for tomorrow, and that goes down to minus 106 on that.
Where are you getting some of these? Like where are you getting NC State out of book wise?
That was DraftKings.
NC State's up on DraftKings?
It was when I looked about an hour ago, at least.
What time do they play tomorrow?
I think it's it's 11 a.m. Yeah, they're minus 620 versus Seton Hall. They're in that Puerto Rico Classic or something.
So I will say Sundays are, and Dom, you played the game.
Yeah.
So you might know this. Sundays, and from what I've noticed, and honestly, the person why I got really introduced to college baseball and how I picked it up so quick was because my best friend played college baseball, and he kind of taught me some of the stuff, how the game works. And a lot of times, Friday night, Saturday night, guys, when you have the better pitchers, is the under games, and then Sundays when the bullpens are gassed, and you're throwing a weaker starter typically on a game 3, it's the over day. So I would say if you're looking to bet some of these lopsided money lines, the overs are probably in play tomorrow. I think there's going to be some overs. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm very curious to see what Michigan State Louisville is going to be total wise.
Yeah,
that total 15.5.
Yeah, that's actually I actually really like that because the over under in that game is 100% an over there, and also for anybody that just wants to ride the Michigan State wave, you look at the price, it's almost like they don't pay attention to the prices here. You look at DraftKings, you look at these other books that post these early odds, and it's literally just copying and pasting the same odds from Friday and Saturday into Sunday. They aren't changing anything right now because they don't have enough intel on who's pitching. They don't have enough insight to what's going on. They're just rinsing and repeating. So if you think Michigan State's the better team and just in regard to what's going on for the weekend, yes, it is crazy to take them to sweep Louisville, but they have dominated both games. So I don't think it's crazy to take them. And I want to say +4 something for tomorrow money line, which is not a crazy thing.
I think I'm going to be on Michigan State, dude.
It's not a crazy thing.
It's
+350 on DraftKings.
It's not a simple. It's not a simple. Oh, Louisville's not going to get swept. Why? Has anybody seen their fucking pitching?
And they haven't done anything at the plate, man.
Dilly Daggers is Dom, brother. I don't know if you've ever paid attention to this. The overs in the Las Vegas tournament are biblical, bro. They are biblical.
I wasn't in this scene last year, so
the Las Vegas tournament last year, it was disgusting. It was a fucking ATM. It was like having an ATM in your.
Where'd they play?
I don't know exactly.
Was the ball just flying or what?
The ball's flying. I mean, it was a combination of some pretty shitty pitching, and the ball just flies. We're talking about some totals that are probably going to be touching 16, 17.
There's no way they do that.
No. They've done that. I hit one last year. It was Texas Tech Irvine last year on a Saturday game. It ended up being the score ended up finishing 14-11 or something like that. All right, it was a AAA stadium.
Okay.
Dilly Dagger, love Dilly Dagger. This is my boy. Sunday overs. Who taught you that, Dilly Dagger? Taught you that years ago. It's a wagon. So there's gonna be some overs tomorrow. But Michigan State, dude, I'm taking them at least on a sprinkle, +350. Louisville, I think this could realistically be Michigan State in the over. Again, that's just I feel. If Michigan State's gonna win, Dom, they're gonna have to score a lot.
If they hang a 14 for the over under for tomorrow, I'm all over that. All over that. And I'd probably go all the way up to 15.5, 16 without thinking. I don't know if 16 is a little crazy for me.
Dom Listy, the handicapper.
It's just a little I don't
on it, bro. I agree with you.
I don't love I just don't love over unders in college baseball because there's games where I would go into it last year just I expect this to kind of be we got to score a lot today, and it's just not at all what you think is going to happen. And I played with these guys every single day, so it's yes, there are some trends and whatnot, but for me, it's I'm not a huge over-under guy unless I really have a lean. But watching the Michigan State Louisville game and knowing how Louisville plays and knowing how shallow that pitching staff is as a whole, and not knowing a ton about Michigan State, but seeing that they've swung it well. They put pressure on their pitching staff the whole weekend, and their pitching staff as well is not going to be deep enough to just like hold Louisville down the whole weekend. I think that's a great call out on the over, to be honest. I really like that.
That's a vibe, to be honest. That is an absolute vibe. So I think I'm probably gonna be looking in on that myself here.
Yeah.
But Dom, I'm actually curious. Like I don't really have anything otherwise from other games, but I'm actually curious. Who is the toughest pitcher you had to face?
On an opposing team or just in general?
Both, I guess.
I don't know if you watched Clemson all today, but last year he didn't pitch much for us. But Justin Lagurnik he's just a lefty from right here, basically throwing.
Oh, I saw him. He blew one. He blew it for me early in the season. I never went to him again. I know he got hurt. I'm like, look, his shit was good because he was hitting he was sitting like 92 to like 95, and he had a really good slider, but he couldn't find the zone at all. And it was just I forget what game it was. It was early in the season.
Ole Miss at the Shriners Classic.
I don't know if it was that early. It might have been. I feel like it was at your park. I don't remember, but he couldn't find the strike zone, and he got tagged for like.
You're playing like North Carolina A&T, and it was a close game, maybe. But
let me see, because I'm actually gonna find it.
But regardless, he's the hardest person I've ever faced in my entire life. Like I'm no joke. He was 95 to 97 today. I sent them a text after the game. I'm like, dude, you looked amazing. Like I'm super happy for you. Like keep it rolling. But
you're lefty, so
yeah. I mean, dude, I led the ACC in on-base percentage last year, man. Like I was a good baseball player, and I literally was guessing like what he was throwing to me. Like I had no shot versus him. So, and then in regard to the other teams, I gotta think for a second. But
let me see. I'm trying to find the game. Oh, there it is. You're right. I think it was Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Inning 2/3, 7 earned runs. I was like, I'll never bet.
Yeah, that was a rough
I'll
game.
never bet on him again.
That was a rough game.
That
was a rough game.
20. Did you? I don't think Tennessee. I don't think you guys played Tennessee last year, did you?
No, we did not.
So you didn't see Doyle.
One of the tougher arms I actually faced was.
Were you only at Clemson at 25?
Yes, just last year. Yeah. Someone's coming to my mind right now, and I'm blanking on the name. But this is this Georgia Tech reliever that just had an invisible fastball.
Was it? It wasn't Patel, was it?
No, Patel's the changeup guy.
Jaden, the kid was nails like early in the season. What was his? Jaden.
But Duke also had a ton of lefties that were super super tough to hit, and they just, I mean, there's a little bit there where me and Canarella were just back to back in the lineup for 2 to 3 weeks straight, which proved to be a problem in the sense that we just faced lefties every single time, and it just was not fun for either one of us. But there wasn't too many names that single-handedly. I'm trying to look at Georgia Tech's roster right now and figure out what his
Dilly Daggers. You ever faced Aiden Canuck?
Ooh, I've faced Aiden a lot. I talk to Aiden every day.
His change piece, it was gross. He basically struck out like 8 of the first 9 batters. Shriners Classic, you guys played there last year. Shriners Classic, I think it was against Oklahoma State.
Jalen Patton is his name.
8 of the first 9 batters.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Yeah,
Jalen Patton and
that was
Dilly
him.
Dagger.
Yeah, no, that was him because
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that kid was nails. I think Georgia Tech was playing somebody, and they,
His fastball, he has that low vertical approach angle, so
Yeah.
it's just like it's a 94, but it's heavy and it's deceptive, and you just like don't pick it up. But
what about?
I have faced Aiden Canuck, Dilly Daggers. He's one of my best friends actually, and we probably faced each other like 4 to 6 times in inter squads throughout the year. I think I at least got 2 knocks off him. So I was like 2 for 6, so we'll take that.
That's a future big league first rounder, man.
Yeah, man. He's an amazing dude, man. An amazing So I'm really excited to see how he balls out.
Yeah. What about Joey Volchko?
No, never faced. No, I don't think so.
Well, you guys played them last year. You went out to Stanford.
How do I spell Volchko?
It's Volchko. You faced Volchko. You faced DeCaro, Jake Knapp, Forbes.
See, I'm just gonna forget.
Oh, Jamie Arnold.
Oh yeah, dude. I mean, he was really good, but I just kind of got blessed in the sense that I didn't really have a result versus him. I think I had 3 at bats and I had 2 hit by pitches and a walk. Like I didn't have to do anything, so I didn't really have to swing the bat versus him at all. So I don't really have anything crazy to say. Like, yeah, it was really good, but I guess it doesn't really stick out in my mind because I wasn't really.
It was quick at bats.
Yeah.
Brett Renfro from Virginia Tech. I mean, he was pretty good last year.
We faced him in the ACC tournament. I don't know if we faced him specifically though.
It's pretty cool though. What about anybody from UNC stood out? Jake Knapp, huge. Jason
Didn't face him. We faced him in the ACC championship game. We didn't have a series versus them. They pitched some freshmen versus us. That was like his first or second start.
Wasn't McDuffie, was it? No, it wasn't not at that point.
I don't know, man, but yeah, I don't know, but he was really good. And if you could look up, I mean, when we played, I'd have to look it up, but whoever we played in the ACC championship game that started, I mean, that kid's going to be good for them this year. But Philly Daggers, I'm bragging about it because I have the single season ACC hit by pitch record. So
I remember hearing that. Oh shit! This is from this year. I thought my bad. No wonder why. All right, let's see. Smith Bailey, I think you guys faced.
I don't know.
You played Arizona last year.
We faced we faced the guy that we lit him up, but he ended up being their number 1 pitcher, I think, in the
Gramkowski.
Yeah.
Yeah, you lit him up. Yeah.
We I had 2 hits on him in the first inning, and he got taken out of the game.
Yeah, I cracked him good.
He only had 2/3 of an inning pitch, and I think we put up 8 earned runs or something. It was ridiculous.
Wake Forest, you played Morningstar, but he wasn't
Yep, I had a great day against Morningstar also. He's a weird pitcher, man. He's a weird pitcher because I actually made a tweet about that.
I know you did. That's why I brought it up.
Yeah.
There was a tweet about him.
Yeah, there was somebody just telling me I knew nothing. And I'm like, dude, I literally faced this guy. But they're just throwing a ton of numbers at me. I'm like, sure, throw all the numbers you want. But he's a really good player, dude. But I watched them a lot last year and I faced him and Wake Forest has this weird thing where they have all the talent in the world with all their arms, but they're just so focused on that pitching lab. That's what everyone knows them as. Burns went from Tennessee to Wake Forest for exactly that. And then they don't have a ton of pitchers in the sense of the old school coin of the term pitcher. They have a lot of throwers, but not a lot of pitchers. And Morningstar, he has a lot of innings where he turns into a thrower. And there's just big innings that happen. So I always back them though. I took them the first game and it went against me, but I'm going to keep backing Morningstar because when he's on, dude, nobody can touch him.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's why it was strange. I'll be honest, bro. I can say it now. I was so mad you guys didn't win in the so I actually had.
Yeah.
So that Kentucky game and that West Virginia game pissed me off because I was like, bro.
We should have 100% won the West Virginia.
I know you should have. And then so I think I actually bet Upstate against you guys because I thought USC Upstate was the sleep.
And they should have covered the spread, but we ended up putting up 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th to cover. I'm bad at spread, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that was it because you guys beat them 7-3. West Virginia, what was it? West Virginia, you guys had some insanely bad base running mistakes, and then you guys were throwing the ball around. Or was that Kentucky? That might have been Kentucky.
That was Kentucky, where it was just a disgusting game, top to bottom.
Well, it was a close game, and then you guys ended up losing 16-4.
It was a disgusting game, but tough way to go out as a baseball player. Like me and Canarella were just in center field talking like, man, there's no way this is how we're going out. Like this is rough. But yeah, the West Virginia game, I mean, I remember Canarella hit a double backside to take the lead. I hit a single to make it bases loaded, 1 out, and then we had our DH get fisted on the first pitch, hit into a double play, and we could have broke the game open right there. We ended up only being up 1 run or something. And then Malstead came in and gave up 3 runs or something, and then
that was the thing. That was surprising because Malstead was one of the top.
He struggled toward the end of the year, though, man.
No, he did. Yeah. But Malstead throughout the whole year, it was like you put like the top relievers in the country. It was Volantis, it was Pluta, it was Antoine Jean from Houston.
We ran him into the ground, man. We ran him into the ground. We used him
back
very heavily.
It wasn't just the 9th inning that he like.
Because it was 4 innings.
Super spotty in the bullpen. Like you had a big drop off. You had a few pretty good arms in the pen.
Yep, we had 2 guys, and right after that, it went down real fast. Like that's what all the Clemson fans are talking about on Twitter right now. So this is way deeper, and obviously everyone overreacts. Like you said in your tweet, like it's way too early to tell, man. It's way too early to tell. But from a naked eye, it does seem like Clemson's a lot deeper on the mound this year. But you can never know, in my opinion, until you get a couple weeks into conference play. Then you start to actually get an idea of what a team is.
Yeah, no, 100%. Speaking of Kentucky, it's actually interesting because I talked a lot about Kentucky in my preseason podcast and wrote them up a little bit. I think they're interesting to make Omaha. I don't think they're going to win. I think they have some holes in their lineup. But I think it's an interesting team to look at because their pitching is going to be really good. I was excited about Jackson Jelkin. Watched him at Houston, in Houston at the Astro Stadium a couple of years ago before he got hurt. And I really liked what I think they might have played Tennessee or Vanderbilt. I don't remember who they faced, but he looked good. And I was like, oh, I really like this kid. And then he got hurt, missed so much time. And then they got the kid from Western Kentucky. So they have four legit starting pitchers. Really like that. Their offense is solid. I love Tyler Bell, but unfortunately, bro, like Tyler Bell got hurt. And now they said he's out indefinitely. That sucks. Tyler Bell's not.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that.
He's not only the best player, but he's one of the best players in the country. Like, that's a first rounder this year.
So Illinois kid as well. Illinois kid. Shout out.
Yeah, it just sucks. Hate seeing guys get hurt. Especially this early, like whole season ahead of them. So obviously, I'm not buying anything on Kentucky right now until we see what Tyler Bell. Because if you don't have Tyler Bell, I don't know if they're going to make that run. But I think otherwise Kentucky's interesting. Like if Tyler Bell, say he misses like a month or two, and Kentucky's still fine in the mix, and like they're going to make a tournament. Yeah, I think Kentucky can be interesting because if it holds the way it looks, they have 4 legitimate starting pitchers. That's tough to beat. You can never have – Dom will tell you, you can never, ever, ever have enough pitching come time for you. Never.
So that's definitely correct.
But otherwise, if Tyler Bell's back and he's healthy and say he misses a month or two, yeah, I think Kentucky can run it for sure. All right. Well, real quick, Dom, let me share this. I'm actually happy because Kansas bent me over last night as Arizona did from like a big day. Kansas State delivers, I hit like a basically 5-1 4-teamer. Vandy. What did I have? Hang on. I'll pull it up. So I hit. It's nice to get it on the board. It's nice to see one through the hoop. Vandy, Oregon State, UNC -1, K-State -1. That hit. 4 plus 468. And then Oregon State looked like they were going to lose. Like they were down 5-2. I'm like, it's done. The way my Friday went, it's done. So then I was like, I really like Kansas State. I think they have a plus pitching matchup. Dante Lewis, I really liked last year. Thought his stuff is pretty good. Their offense is good. UConn, these Northeast teams really struggle out of the gate. It's such a disadvantage with the weather and having to play games indoors and all that stuff. So K-State -1. I made a second parlay. K-State -1, TCU moneyline, Nebraska moneyline for +703. So I ended up hitting both. So it ended up being a very good night. The slate on the Discord, clean sweep with Oregon State, K-State, and TCU. So it was a pretty good night for Johnny VTV, brother.
Very nice, my man. Good looks.
Well, Dom, it was a pleasure, man. Love having you on.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for your time. I know it's late here on the East Coast, so I do really appreciate it. It's great to have you on the show. Can't wait to have you back. And bro, it's great to have you in the college baseball betting landscape now, man. It really is.
All right, man. I'll be seeing more of you soon, man. Good to talk to you.
Yes, sir. Thanks a lot,
All right.
guys. Appreciate it. See you next week.